What you doing?
Trying on glasses with Zenny's 3D virtual try-on.
Wow, that's pretty cool. But those glasses kind of make you look like your Uncle Bob.
Oh, not exactly the look I was going for. Okay, how about these clear glasses? Oh, or these round ones.
Very on trend. I like both on you.
You know, I also like these aviator sunglasses.
Wait, are those the actual prices? I say get all of them.
Seriously, why not, right?
Oh, now I want new glasses.
Zenni.com. Quality prescription glasses starting at $6.95.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spurs Up Show, the best Gamecocks podcast on the internet. Today is Friday, December the 11th, 2020. On today's show, as we wrap up the 2020 football season, it's never too early to look ahead. And I'll do just exactly that here on a Friday. I'm talking way too early predictions for the 2021 football season. I'll give you guys my wins, toss-ups, and losses, best and worst case scenario, best and worst case record, and my official game-by-game prediction for the 2021 football season. The Gamecocks begin the Shane Beamer era. Also, some other news and notes to get into, but we got a packed show here on a Friday, folks. Sit back, relax, enjoy. It's all brought to you by our friends over at Upstate Movers Group. Guys, Upstate Movers Group, superior moving service. They bring care and attention other companies can't offer because they're just too busy maintaining trucks and profiting off of them instead of focusing on service. Guys, service is what separates Upstate Movers Group from the competition. They're not a trucking company. They are a moving services company, and they're also employee-owned co-op. Their movers are paid twice the industry average, and everyone on the crew is just as invested in the success of the project as you are. They have dedicated professional crew members, and they also offer black glove service, guys. They offer end-to-end packing services, custom crating and packaging for special items, and cleaning services as well. They are founded by Greenville natives and University of South Carolina alumni. So a Gamecock-owned small business, guys. They offer 20 years of project management moving experience, and they can offer logistics and solutions that traditional moving companies simply do not have the skills for. Guys, whether you're in the upstate or across the state of South Carolina, be sure to check out my friends over at Upstate Movers Group for any moving needs this holiday season. You can find them on social media at Upstate Movers Group, or if you want more information, check out their website, upstatemoversgroup.com. That is upstatemoversgroup.com. The show is also brought to you by our friends over at Yardware. Guys, Yardware is a veteran-owned and operating company licensed by the University of South Carolina, selling must-have Carolina yard and wall signs. Guys, these signs are made out of 12-gauge laser-cut steel, and they come in both garnet and black. Christmas is right around the corner, guys. We're getting closer and closer. We're literally 2 weeks away from Christmas. If you haven't bought your sign yet and you're planning on getting one, I don't know what you're doing, guys. We're running out of time, all right? They're going to get it to you quickly, but you're running out of time as Christmas gets closer and closer and closer, just 2 weeks away now. You can order your sign today. First things first, check them out on social media at Yardware Signs. I've got my sign in my studio. The detail, the quality is incredible. It's what really stands out. This is the perfect gift for any Gamecock fan in your life. Get one for yourself, get one for your friends, get one for your family. Any Gamecock fan you know, they're going to absolutely love their Yardware sign. So check them out on social media at Yardware Signs, and you can order your sign today at their website, yardwaresigns.com. That is yardwaresigns.com. Finally, guys, the show is brought to you by our friends over at MyBookie. Guys, with the Christmas holiday right around the corner, MyBookie's been in a giving mood. A $250 risk-free bet on Thanksgiving, boosted odds and free bets every hour of Black Friday, and they continue to give away more freebies for Cyber Monday. For a sportsbook that's supposed to be in the business of making money, they were giving it away. That's just one of the reasons why I've been rolling with MyBookie this season. The fact is this, guys. If you're going to put some action on the games, whether you're betting NFL, NCAA, college football, college hoops, whatever your preference is, you want to do it with a reputable brand like MyBookie. Guys, you can make your deposit using the promo code Gamecocks. That's promo code Gamecocks, and they'll match you halfway to give you a head start on building your bankroll. You can put in $200, get an extra $100 to play with. Joining and depositing is a simple process, and it's quick. But more importantly, when it's time to get paid, that's quick too. Treat yourself with some extra cash in your pocket this holiday season by investing in your intuition. Guys, it's not just winter season. It's winning season. So bet, win, and get paid with MyBookie. Let's get it. What is up, guys? TGIF, happy Friday. I'm Chris Phillips, host of the Spurs Up Show as always. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Got a packed show, got a fun show today as we dive into things here on a Friday. Crazy, like I was mentioning in the intro, we're just 2 weeks away from Christmas. Literally 2 weeks. I know everybody's in the holiday season right now, in the holiday festivities going on, whether you're going looking at Christmas lights, you've got your tree all up, you're doing your Christmas shopping, whatever it is, guys. I actually love this time of year. I didn't know if you guys knew this. My birthday is Christmas Day. So I'll be turning the big 3-0 on Christmas. So I've always favored this time of year. Always loved this time of year. Love being around the fam. Planning on going home for Christmas, obviously for the week of Christmas this year, same as I did last year and every other year. But I definitely do love the Christmas season. Hope you and yours are doing well, and I appreciate you taking the time to tune in here on a Friday. Guys, I know I mentioned it and teased it a little bit yesterday, but I just want to say again, thank you guys so much for the love and support, especially with the merchandise we've been dropping. We've got some big things in the works behind the scenes in regards to merchandise, something I really wanted to get off the ground in 2020, but obviously when shit hit the fan, you kind of have to sustain instead of growing. So going into 2021, I'm very excited for some of the things to come. But I want to say thank you to you guys because, again, without your love and support, none of it would be possible. So thank you so much. And again, appreciate you guys taking the time to tune in here on a Friday. We were supposed to be talking about a Gamecocks basketball game that happened on Thursday night. But, of course, 2020 happened. COVID happened. The Gamecocks are in COVID protocol, basically. They've already canceled the Wofford game, which was last night, of course, and then the game Monday that was supposed to be against George Washington. So South Carolina basketball, heck, I don't know when their next game will be. They're going to try to play Clemson December the 19th. You hope and pray they can get the rivalry matchup in, but who knows at this point. But again, we're talking football on the show. Again, like I said, yesterday we did the award show. We kind of put a plug in the 2020 season. And who knows, we might have one more game in this 2020 season. Does South Carolina go to a bowl game? Who knows? But I thought to myself this, and I did this last year. It's never too early to look ahead and give predictions and give projections for the following football season. So that's exactly what I'm doing today. My way too early predictions for the 2021 football season. I'll say this, guys. Way too early is an understatement, right? The season just ended. That was the 2020 season. But I don't care. I'm going to go ahead and look ahead to 2021. Really exciting stuff. Really good stuff. You know, it's funny. Before we get going in 2021, to reflect back, I did this a year ago, actually. And so I looked ahead to the 2020 season, gave my predictions, and this was obviously before COVID and the 10-game conference schedule and all that. I had South Carolina going 5-7, though. 5-7 in the 2020 season. I'll tell you what, the record as far as the conference games was pretty close. Because I think I had South Carolina with 3 SEC wins, 2 or 3. No, maybe 2. So, I mean, yeah, I had them basically right on that 2-win number in league play. Granted, we all didn't know what was going to happen and everything unfolded and COVID happened, all that stuff. But I had South Carolina picked to go 5-7 in 2020. Now, we all have our fingers crossed, and the way that I'm going to do this, we all have our fingers crossed. Everything's going to be back to quote-unquote normal next season. You'll have all of your non-conference games. You'll have your conference games back to a normal 12-game schedule. So that's the way I'm going to look at this thing. Way too early prediction for the 2021 football season. Let's dive into it. First things first, let's just take a look. Who is South Carolina playing in 2021? So the conference games, the dates have not been announced. The non-conference games have. So Carolina is going to open up back-to-back non-conference games in 2021, similar to what they would have done this season had it been a normal schedule. The Gamecocks open up the Shane Beamer era Saturday, September the 4th at Williams-Brice Stadium against the Eastern Illinois Panthers, then go on the road the following week. A really interesting game here at East Carolina in Greenville, and that is one I cannot wait to make that road trip. I've never been to Greenville before. I've heard it's absolutely awesome. I got a couple of buddies that went to ECU, and they say it is just a blast. So I cannot wait to make that road trip. Then the Gamecocks play Troy on October the 2nd, and then Clemson, of course, to round out the season. That game, by the way, is slated to be at Williams-Brice Stadium, and I think they will keep that destination for that game because obviously South Carolina was supposed to go to Clemson this year, did not. You think to yourself, okay, they're going to move it back one, and now South Carolina's got to go to Clemson next year. I don't think that'll happen. I think they will stay consistent with the schedule because if you change the 2021 year, you got to change it for the rest of the time, and it's just a mess. So I think the game will be in Columbia. The conference slate looks like this for South Carolina. Again, none of the dates are set, but at Georgia, at Mizzou, Auburn at home, Florida at home, Kentucky at home, Vandy at home, at Tennessee, at A&M. So some really good road trips. I mean, you think of College Station, you think of Neyland, you think of Sanford, some really, really good road games. And, of course, some big-time home matchups as well. The thing that sticks out to me, South Carolina hosts Auburn again. And like I said, these schedules could change. I have no idea if they're going to alter the schedules because of who played who this year, but I highly doubt it. I think they're probably going to stick with the schedule how it is and make things as simple as possible. But again, let's go ahead and dive into it. I'm giving you guys my wins, my toss-ups, and my losses, similar to how I do in the preseason before every single season, but I'm going to go ahead and do that right now for my way too early predictions as well. Let's talk about the wins. Okay, let's talk about the wins. And when I say a win, by the way, I want you guys to understand, when I'm doing wins, toss-ups, and losses, when I say a win, I'm talking about a game that I look at, I just chalk it up as a W. I don't even think about it, okay? It's a W in my mind. So off the jump, those 3 non-conference games, and yes, I know you have to go to ECU, to Greenville. That could be a tricky game, but no. I say South Carolina, Eastern Illinois, at ECU, Troy. That's 3 right there. You should have 3 built-in non-conference wins in the non-conference schedule. So I've got South Carolina getting those 3 wins over those non-conference foes. Now, another win for me, chalk it up, Vandy. South Carolina, for whatever reason, has always dominated Vanderbilt. I don't see that changing this upcoming year. They're going through a coaching change as well after firing Derek Mason. So who knows what Vanderbilt football is going to look like. They were absolutely abysmal this 2020 season. Probably the worst Power 5 team in college football, in my opinion. I don't see them getting much better. And South Carolina has them at home. They will manhandle the Vanderbilt Commodores. This last one might surprise you because, again, I've already got 4. Because a lot of you are asking, what are the expectations in year 1 of Shane Beamer? I'm going to get to that in just a second. But I've already got 4 wins chalked up in my back pocket, guys. But I have a 5th. And this 5th one, I think, will surprise some of you guys. Because my 5th win for me for the 2021 season, Kentucky Wildcats at home at Williams-Brice Stadium. Listen, I understand Kentucky has given South Carolina fits, but now that Will Muschamp is gone and we have moved into the Shane Beamer era, I am not looking at the Kentucky game as a 50-50 game anymore. That is a game South Carolina should win. For whatever reason, Will Muschamp, call it whatever you may, could not figure it out. I just couldn't. South Carolina obviously falling to Kentucky last weekend, a depleted team. I don't look a lot into that. I think this turns back into a series where South Carolina should take care of business against Kentucky. Like, you can't realistically, if you're Shane Beamer and company, you can't sit there and say that the program is, and I'm sure he'd agree, you can't sit there and say the program's going in the right direction and you're trending the right way if you're losing to Kentucky. You just can't. You can't go into seasons with Kentucky being a toss-up. Like, you know what I mean? Kentucky's not the standard. It's just not. You can't. I'm not going to put Kentucky on a pedestal. And they weren't a really great team this year either. And they're going to lose a lot as well, especially on that defensive side. So, again, I've got 5 wins.
2 kinds of bacon and all kinds of delicious. Say hello to Donato's new Bacon Duo pizzas. 2 pizzas, each with 2 kinds of bacon. Try the new Pepperoni Bacon Duo with pepperoni, Canadian bacon, and hardwood smoked bacon. And the Chipotle Bacon Duo with Canadian bacon and Chipotle seasoned bacon. Now get $2 off a large Bacon Duo or any large pizza. Use promo code 2. Donato's. Every piece is important.
I've got 5 wins for the 2021 football season. Eastern Illinois, at ECU, Troy, Vandy, and Kentucky. So 5 wins. That may be more than some people, but I got 5 wins built into next season. Let's go to the losses, then we'll go toss-ups. Losses for me, 3 built-in losses, I think, at Georgia, at Texas A&M, and unfortunately against Clemson. I just think that's 3 of the tougher games. You look at what A&M's doing this year. I think Jimbo Fisher's finally got that thing rolling. Georgia on the road in Sanford. I know the South Carolina Georgia series. I know how it goes, but I think right now the Dogs are just so much farther ahead than South Carolina, and the game is between the hedges. That'll be a really tough game. And then, of course, the Clemson game. Listen, I'd expect South Carolina to put up a much better fight than they did under the Will Muschamp tutelage. I think South Carolina will put up a much better fight against the Clemson Tigers, but I'm not going to sit here and say all of a sudden that is a toss-up game. There's just no way. Clemson is light years ahead of where South Carolina is. Just call it for what it is as far as talent is concerned. So I've got those 3, Georgia, A&M, and Clemson, as my 3 losses right now, which leaves us with 4 toss-ups in the 2021 football season for me. Auburn at home, Florida at home, at Tennessee, and at Missouri. And I know a lot of you are going to freak out at those last 2. Let me explain when I get to my official game-by-game predictions. But those are my 4 toss-ups. Again, I think you have a great chance to beat Auburn yet again. Florida at home is that one could have been in the loss category, but I think getting them at home at Williams-Brice Stadium provides an interesting dynamic in that game. And then the reason these last 2 are toss-ups, Tennessee, Mizzou, anytime you have to go on the road to Knoxville, a place that South Carolina historically, let's call it for what it is, has not played well. They have not done well there. That's got to be a toss of my mind. Then at Missouri, you lost them, and you lost to Tennessee this year. You lost to both Tennessee and Missouri, and now you got to go play them on the road. So I think those belong in the toss-up category for now. But again, I've got 5 wins, 4 toss-ups, and 3 losses. So a lot of opportunity in this 2021 schedule, in my opinion. Let's move into best case, worst case. Best case scenario, worst case scenario for the 2021 Gamecocks. And I'll start best case and then go to worst case. Best case for me, I think 7-5 is probably the ceiling for this team in 2021. Again, South Carolina's going to have a lot of questions. You have a first-year head coach in Shane Beamer. You're trying to get your players in there, establish the culture. You feel like you have some nice pieces to build around offensively, at least in the running back room, and then Luke Doty at quarterback, you'd assume. But who's going to catch the football yet again? The offensive line will be a question. Defensively, we all know the rebuilding project you have on the defensive side. How much can Shane Beamer get out of this group of guys he'll have to work with in year one? Because again, I will say this. I think there's a lot of talent on the roster, and I think 2 things are going to stand out. Lack of roster mismanagement. That's what's going to jump out. Roster mismanagement and lack of player development. I think those 2 things are going to be very evident at what the last staff was unable to accomplish. I think that's going to be something that's very evident to Shane Beamer and company. So I think there's talent on the roster, but 7-5 feels right. You know, anything more than 7 wins to me just feels a little too unrealistic. Because listen, the schedule's still hard. I mean, the schedule's still really hard. You've still got to play Georgia, Florida, Clemson, A&M. I mean, it's a rough go of it. It's a rough go. And I'll say this, you know, honestly, with the way South Carolina, the draw they've had in the West, only having to play, you know, you got Auburn and A&M, yes, but God, at least you avoid LSU, Alabama, and I know LSU struggled in 2020, but God, at least you avoid them. You play an Auburn team that you already beat in 2020, so that's kind of nice there for you. But I think 7-5 for me, I think that's the best case scenario. Again, I think anything more than 7, I think is a little bit of wishful thinking. Obviously, I'd love to be wrong, but I think more than 7 might be asking a little too much from Shane Beamer and that team specifically in year one. Let's go to worst case scenario. Worst case scenario for the Gamecocks. I think 4-8, worst case scenario, injuries happen, shit hits the fan, whatever. 4-8, I don't think that's going to happen, which you guys are about to hear my game-by-game predictions. But 4-8 for me would be worst case. You would have your 3 non-conference wins and then probably beat Vandy and lose to everyone else. Again, that is worst case, though, and I don't see that happening. Let's go ahead and move into game-by-game predictions for the 2021 football season. I've already given you guys my wins, okay? My wins over Eastern Illinois, East Carolina, Troy, Vanderbilt, Kentucky. That's 5, right? I have the Gamecocks finishing 6-6 in 2021. That is my way too early prediction right now. I have the Gamecocks finishing 6-6. And I think one of the other wins, the other win that will come for South Carolina is going to come over either Tennessee or Missouri. I think South Carolina splits with those 2. I don't think there's any way they lose both. Again, both are very winnable in my opinion. I mean, you see what's happening with Tennessee right now, and the Mizzou is definitely not a world beater. I mean, you lost to them, but your team was completely depleted. You were playing a true freshman quarterback. I think South Carolina could actually win both. I really do. But right now, I would say they split Tennessee and Missouri. You win all the wins I said. You obviously win those games, and you get bowl eligible, and you get to 6-6. I've got the losses, of course, to Auburn, Florida, Auburn, Florida, either Tennessee or Missouri, Georgia, Clemson, and Texas A&M. And again, I've got South Carolina as a respectable 6-6 in Shane Beamer's first year, which kind of leads me to this, because I know a lot of people have asked me, Chris, what are your year one expectations of Shane Beamer? Or really the questions more so revolve around, Chris, how soon will it be before we're back in Atlanta with Shane Beamer? Well, let's talk 2021 expectations for Shane Beamer. You know, listen, like I said, I think there is I think there is talent on this roster, okay? I don't think South Carolina is quite as bad off as people maybe think. I think the last staff, again, completely mismanaged the roster, did not put guys in positions to be successful, and I also think that there was no player development whatsoever. Guys got on campus and stalled out, just nothing, no development at all. But again, I think there's talent on the roster. I think expecting South Carolina to go to a bowl game in year one is a very, very reasonable expectation from Gamecock fans. Because I would still argue there's never an excuse to miss a bowl game at South Carolina. You have everything. You have the resources. You have the facilities. You have the talent. Now you've got Shane Beamer and a brand new coaching staff, which we're still waiting to hear who obviously the OC, the DC, really the entire staff is going to be. But I think with competent coaching, and again, the talent you have on the roster currently and the guys you're going to add, let's call that too. Let's call that for what it is. You're going to add other guys. You're going to add other guys in recruiting, and I think the transfer portal will be big for South Carolina. But I think getting to 6-6, like I said, guys, I see 5 built-in wins. I mean, seriously, no doubt the 3 non-conference games, that's a shoe-in. And then really Vandy, I mean, at minimum, there's 4 built-in wins. You're telling me South Carolina can't win 2 more games? I think they will 110%. I mean, I think 7-5 is possible. I'm being, quote-unquote, conservative with that 6-6 prediction, but I think in year 1 of Shane Beamer, you know, expecting to get to a bowl game and having expectations of getting to a bowl game at minimum, I think are very fair. And I'm not sitting here saying, oh, if the guy goes 5-7, fire Shane Beamer. Obviously, I'm not saying that. But I think it's realistic to think that this South Carolina football team can get to a bowl game. No doubt. I think there are pieces, like I said, on this roster. I think there are pieces on this team that will shine under a different coaching staff and a different offensive system. So, and again, how are these teams that I mentioned, by the way, that South Carolina plays, what are they like in 2021? You know, as a team like Tennessee, have they rebounded? As a team like Auburn, or maybe A&M, completely fallen off? Who knows? That could change these predictions. But for right now, I feel pretty confident in saying that South Carolina at 6-6, again, wins over Eastern Illinois, at East Carolina, Troy, Vandy, Kentucky, and either Tennessee or Mizzou. And then losses to Auburn, Florida, either Tennessee or Mizzou, Georgia, Clemson, and A&M. I think 6-6 is about where this team will fall in 2021. So again, I'm locking it in. That is my way too early predictions for the 2021 football season. 6-6 in year 1 of the Shane Beamer era, guys. So again, a couple of notes really quickly, and we'll get out of here. Kind of a quicker show today. And one of the reasons is basketball. Basketball getting canceled due to COVID. The Wofford game on Thursday night obviously got called. Then the George Washington game on Monday got called. So, you know, I don't know. Frank Martin and company is kind of rolling with the punches. I mean, you hope and you pray, because literally next weekend you're supposed to play Clemson at Colonial Life Arena. Will South Carolina be able to do that? I have no idea. You hope. I mean, again, I think they said all basketball activities are suspended until December the 16th, which is Wednesday. I don't know. I don't know. It's tough to say whether South Carolina will be able to play that game against Clemson, but we'll see. But again, no basketball game on Monday, if you guys are wondering, and in case you missed that. One other thing really quickly I thought was interesting. Obviously, Shane Beamer building his staff right now. I'm sure he's in contact with a ton of different people, and I'm thinking we're going to find out over the next week or two, max, you know, who the staff is going to be. Former Gamecocks safety and 10-year NFL veteran Darian Stewart expressing interest in returning to Columbia. I thought that was really interesting. I think Darian is a guy that kind of gets overlooked and overshadowed because of the great defensive backs that have come through Columbia. But again, the more Gamecock greats and guys like that you can have around the program, the better in my mind. Now, would he be an on-field assistant? Would he be an analyst? Would he be some other type of role? I have no idea, but you're talking about a guy, again, that is a Super Bowl champion. That was a fantastic Gamecock. I'd say a Gamecock legend. Obviously knows Shane Beamer very well. Was there when Shane Beamer was there. Played on some of the best defenses in school history. I think it'd be a fantastic addition. So, again, I think it's really interesting, and you love to see that because, again, I think the buzz, I think the momentum is really, really high right now with Gamecock football, and you just absolutely love to see it. So, again, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Appreciate you all tuning in here on a Friday. And by the way, leave your comments. I'd love to hear. What are your way too early predictions for the 2021 football season? Do you agree with mine? Do you disagree? Again, I've got South Carolina 6-6. So we can go back a year from now and see if I was right, I was wrong, whatever. But I've got South Carolina going 6-6 in Shane Beamer's first year as head coach. Would love to hear what you guys think on the predictions. Guys, other than that, appreciate you all tuning in. Again, appreciate the love, support, guys. It means the absolute world to me. I hope you guys all have a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
At Zenni, you get the same quality frame and lens options that you'd get from an optician for 1/10 of the price, including blue blockers, progressives, prescription sunglasses, and more. The best part? Try on any frame, anywhere with our 3D virtual try-on. Zenni.com. Eyewear for everyone.